This is Praise Moment. I'm Sister Bev.
For our praise moment, we are going back to Psalm 23, but we are making progress because we are landing on verse 2. We have spent a while. We could still spend time on verse 1, but it's time to move on to verse 2. Verse 2 says, He, that is the good shepherd, our shepherd, Yahweh the Lord, He makes me lie down in green pastures. Your good shepherd, the one who leads you out, who goes before you, who calls you by name, who protects, who provides. He's leading you out to a good place. And I love how in the ESV, sometimes like in that Proverbs verse about the goodly inheritance, it uses that word goodly. So we could say the Lord, our good shepherd, is leading us out to a goodly place. Yes, that's really a lovely word. There's never a day that your good shepherd is going to lead you out from that pen where you safely spent the night. And as you are led out for the day, you're going to see that the grass is all dried up. Never gonna happen. Never gonna be a day like that. And never gonna be a time when the good shepherd says to you, well, it's dry season, it's hot and it's miserable. I'm sorry, but these are hard times. Never gonna happen. The grass is always greener with the good shepherd. The grass is never gonna be greener on the other side. Never gonna be greener somewhere else. The grass is greener where your good shepherd is. So we need to be sure we're following our good shepherd's voice and not the voices of this world. In fact, the grass is browner on the other side. On the other side, you're going to find drought. You're going to find it dried up. And what does dried up grass look like? It looks brown. Okay, the grass is browner on the other side, not greener. You might think it's good business to follow the crowd, to do what others do to get ahead, to shortchange a customer or substitute inferior parts. But you'll only find yourself in what color pastures? Brown pastures, yes. So what are green pastures to the sheep? Well, first of all, what are the sheep eating all day? They're eating their green pastures. They're eating the clover and the grass and the things that they have there in their green pastures. But apparently there's such an abundance of it that they also get to make a bed and lie down in this very green pasture. They're kind of making a bed out of what they're eating all. Now, don't go making a pillow out of your adobo, okay? Because that wouldn't be the same thing. What it means is that there is always abundance for your family and plenty left over to make you feel comfortable. In Joel, the book of Joel, in his prophecy in the 2nd chapter, the people of the land had been enduring drought, wild locusts, devastation. And whenever there is something happening to the land, it happens to the land, it happens to the people, and it also happens to the wild animals. All of God's creation is affected. But God, in the book of Joel, chapter 2, was providing for them green pastures and trees bearing fruit. So that's a picture of abundance, of provision, of things going right, of things being well. Tell the righteous it will be well with them. Green pastures are a picture of things going well with you. So all day long, you are with your good shepherd in these luscious, fertile, green pastures. So where are you then at night? At night, it's dark. So are you then vulnerable to wolves and the darkness? The things that stalk at night? Nope. You are safely in a sheep pen. So before nightfall, your shepherd will bring you to an enclosure. That's what a good shepherd does. An enclosure goes almost all the way around, but there's an opening as kind of a doorway. It's just an opening in this enclosure. And your good shepherd brings you in. Of course, we know he counts his sheep one by one, calling them all by name as they come into the pen. And when you're in the pen, what does the shepherd do? Well, he tends to you. He's putting oil on any sore spots where you might have got rubbed by branches or briars during the day, irritated by them. And the shepherd is taking thorns out of your, sheep have very fluffy wool and it might get some thorns in it during the day. And at night, if you're laying on that, it can be irritating. All right. So he's taking that out. And when all the sheep are inside, accounted for, tended to, made sure that they are comfortable and everything is well with them, the shepherd goes, and you know how they're in an enclosure that goes almost all the way around. The shepherd goes and lays himself across that enclosure, and that is where he sleeps. And so any predator, any wolf, anything that wants to come in and harm the sheep, of course, he's not going to get past the good shepherd. And that's why Jesus can say he is the door and nobody can come in and touch those sheep because they're not going to get past him when he is taking care of us. He is truly our good shepherd. He knows you. He calls you by name. He leads you out. He goes before you. He tends to your wounds. He makes you well. And then he himself puts himself right there in the doorway so that nobody, no predator can touch you without, because that predator would have to go through Jesus and obviously can't. So the Lord leads you, your good shepherd leads you into green pastures, places of abundance, not of decrease, places of provision, not of lack. Your good shepherd makes you lie down in green pastures. Amen. Thankful for our good shepherd. Amen. Thankful we are not shepherdless. Thankful we are sheep of his pasture. Amen.